When we look out into the world, we see regimes which are crumbling, which are in civil war, which can't come to the table. We can't bring about a consensual, contractual relationship among them. I began looking at questions of political founding. And what I was very much interested in is what the ancients saw as the violence that's involved in political founding. Authors such as Herodotus, Thucydides, Xenophon, they don't see founding as coming about as a result of consent. The ancients rightly see the true founding as the victory of one set of partisans. That's a very different view of founding. And I think it gets at some of the dilemmas we have today when we see wars and revolutions and civil wars. How does one build a political community out of that? How does one come to a citizenship which has a shared view of justice, a shared view of the common good? It also raises questions about our own constitutionalism. It raises questions about what the real distribution of power is, how we constitute a community. There has to be a way in which the political community comes to a common life, a common good, so that law isn't seen as just the imposition of the stronger over the weaker, but rather that law achieves a common good for all of the citizens of the community. This is a deep and urgent question for politics. Another part of this project is a study of Sparta, classical Sparta. Sparta is considered, both by ancient thinkers and by modern thinkers, as the fullest instantiation of this idea of a regime. I look to ancient Sparta to try to understand, first of all, the nature of a regime, how one can fully legislate a life, a political order, and then also to see the strengths and weaknesses of Sparta as a regime. In what ways does human nature resist this kind of shaping? Ancient authors, mainly Athenian authors, show that there were flaws in the Spartan citizen, which tell us something about the impossibility of fully shaping a citizen so that they are wholly devoted to the common good. I really try to get my students to understand that we see the world through 21st century American eyes. And in order to try to see the world more fully, we have to understand our own biases and prejudices. And then we can begin to, I think, see the world through ancient eyes, but we look with new eyes upon our own world. Those moments in which you spark a student's interest, or you see they make a connection, then I think you are reminded about why it's important to be what I would say is a kind of custodian of these great conversations, of these important questions. The ancients need to be made relevant for the concerns that we have today.